Also former GOP party chairman. Duf Sundheim is with us. Duf is, I also want to throw in Ron on so we don't hear from him because he's running behind everybody else. So good morning to you. Thank you for coming in.
Thanks for having me on. Hi.
Hello.
Now, for a lot of people, this will be an introduction to
Absolutely.
you. They say, what is this name, Duf? Your real name is?
George.
Melchior.
George Melcher Sundheim
Okay.
III.
All right.
But Duf works better, and it stands for dumb, ugly, and fat.
All right, good night, everybody.
You've got jokes this early in the morning.
There
We
are
like
people
that.
who might say
Yeah.
that you got to be, like, not ugly, but dumb
Yeah.
to run as a Republican in California.
Yeah.
You've heard this every day.
The dying
What-
breed.
Yeah,
you're an
exactly
extinct
right.
bird. What do you say?
Well, I'm running not because of my party label, but because Kamala Harris, who's the leading candidate, has proven herself to be incompetent. The people that are watching this show know that crime is up dramatically, and it's because of her policies. Violent crime is up 54%. Property crimes are up 100%. And we need somebody that represents us in Washington that can solve problems. If she can't take care of crime in California, how's she going to deal with ISIS?
All right, there is that issue, but we have to remember, remind folks, you're running for the U.S. Senate.
Yes.
Not for governor.
No, exactly right.
Running for the U.S. Senate. So some of the issues that you will be dealing with are very, very important.
Right.
But before we get to any of them, where are you on Trump?
I have not endorsed him, and my policies are very different, and my approach is very different than his. I think he's tapped in to the emotion that people feel, but my view is I want to bring people together, and I think that too many things that he has said has been very divisive.
Will you support him?
I have not endorsed him
Will
yet.
you support him when the time comes?
I don't know if I will, frankly.
Would you support Hillary?
No, I'm not going to vote for Hillary.
He's getting a lot of support apparently from the Republicans at this point.
Well, a lot of noise anyway.
Right.
A lot
at this
of
point.
noise.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm not going to do that.
Yeah.
But, you know, I've been married for 33 years. I'm still learning things about my wife. I want to see how Donald presents himself over the next months.
But you do say that he's divisive versus uniting.
I'm very concerned about that. You know, there are people that, immigrant community that's very upset about it. There are a lot of women that are upset about it. I'm a federal court mediator. My whole thing is bringing people together, find what we have in common and moving forward together.
Now, you're running in California as a Republican. I want to get back to that because it talks to where you stand on issues.
Right.
Conservative Republicans, we say, and people will get mad at me, but it's a fact, conservative Republicans have a devil's time getting elected to anything statewide. You were the Republican National Chairman the last time this ever happened.
Right.
It was Arnold Schwarzenegger, which was a whole different story.
That's correct.
All right, but you're much more moderate than the main body of the Republican Party in the United States. Can you speak to that?
Well, sure. I don't view it as moderate, although I am pro-choice, pro-gay rights, pro-comprehensive.
That's enough right there.
Right
okay?
there says it all.
But I'm not moderate. I mean, it's like I'm passionate. I want to move forward.
Okay.
Moderate sounds so mushy, kind of like it's compromise. I'm all about collaboration. How can we work together to make things happen? Not find the soft middle, but the aggressive.
Right. Let's specify then the issue of abortion.
Yes. So I believe that I'm personally pro-life. My dad was dying of Alzheimer's, and we had to decide whether or not to terminate his life. And and I'm sitting there thinking, do I want some government official deciding whether or not we made the right choice? So I think we need to leave it up to the individual, although the choice that my wife and I have made is to be pro-life. But we should leave it up to the individual to decide what
What
they
about
want.
your brother? You have a personal story regarding him as
Yeah,
well.
he just died. He had a mental disability, and he really was my inspiration because every night, you know, I was doing well, football, going to Stanford, but I'd go home and my mom would be working with my brother because she was afraid he was going to be institutionalized. So he was one of the first homeschooled people, and he really showed me that with less skills, he reached each day with such confidence and enthusiasm that he really is the reason that I am out here doing a lot of the things I do, because he had less than I had, but he was very successful.
So just for clarity here,
sure.
you are personally pro-life.
Correct.
But you are pro-choice when it comes to allowing people to make
You
whatever
feel
choice
like it's
they
a
want to
personal
Yeah,
decision
it's a personal
each person
decision,
has to make.
right.
make. So that puts you in the pro-choice column.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry to hear about your brother,
Yes.
by the way.
Yeah, thank you very
realize
much.
that,
Thank you.
yes.
So as you can see, I got a little
Yes,
off
of course.
talking about it.
Understandably so.
Yeah.
All right, next hot button issue,
Yeah.
gay marriage.
I support it and always have. You know, when I was chair of the party, it was unbelievable. They would not allow gay Republicans to go to the national convention. And I changed all that. So I've always been at the forefront of gay marriage. Again, I think you are the way you are.
Are you,
and I
out,
think
are
need
you
to
out of step
appreciate
with
that.
your party?
I don't know. I think there are a lot of people in the party that are the same way. I'm a proud Republican, because really my choice is I can think for myself, or I'm going to do what the unions tell me to do, and that's how Kamala is controlled by the unions. Every decision she's made, it's been what the unions have told her to do. I want to make decisions on my own, and that's why I'm a Republican.
With somewhat of your moderate views, let's talk about the Supreme Court Justice nominee, Merrick Garland, because he's been called a moderate as well.
Right. So I am a Republican that says we should hold the hearings. I haven't decided whether or not I would vote for him, and that would be after we have the hearings and find out what his positions are. But we need to have the process play itself out. So I would support holding the hearings.
Well, let's get a sense. President Obama appointed a couple of people to the Supreme Court.
Right.
Would you have confirmed them?
So I have studied Kagan, and I would have confirmed her.
Yes.
Sotomayor, I think that I'm less confident that I would have endorsed her. Kagan's a smart woman. I disagree with her analysis sometimes, but she is the type of person that we should have on the Supreme Court.
Would you have, if you were a senator, a litmus test for anybody nominated to the court?
No. I believe that you need to believe that the Constitution means what it says and the statutes mean what they say. And if you have a record of showing that you're not trying to reinterpret the Constitution or mess around with the existing laws, then I will support you. So that's where I think we need to come together. I think one of the gravest mistakes we've made on both sides of the aisle is the politicalization of the Supreme Court over the last 20 years.
And that's where it is. I mean, even senatorial courtesy isn't operating anymore.
No.
It's interesting listening to you speak because it seems like many of your beliefs come from personal issues and things you've had to deal with in life. So you've kind of altered and changed how you feel versus just going along party lines.
Well, exactly right. I mean, my wife, both of her parents died when she was a kid. She didn't go to college till she was 50, but graduated at the age of 55, Phi Beta Kappa, and all conference in tennis. So I've seen people that have imagined the unimaginable and made it happen, but it comes from that personal experience.
And let's remember two things. You were a quarterback, so you got to keep everybody in play.
There you go.
My first game in college was against Pat Hayden in the LA Coliseum.
Wow. Oh, wow.
Oh, wait a minute. Before you go, you played high school football. You were a quarterback.
In Chicago,
You were in the theater group. And you were in the theater group, I believe, with this guy right here.
Oh, my gosh. You have Hasselhoff in there?
David Hasselhoff.
That's right.
Is that right? Yeah.
So I used to get the leading man, roles, and then he came to my high school.
And God.
I was the character actor.
Done.
Tough competition. Tough competition.
Okay, I know we got to go. Last question. Are true blue conservative Republicans unhappy with you for your positions?
No, because I listen and I make them part of the process.
Okay. Duff, great to see you. Duf Sundheim,
nice
thank you for coming in.
Great.
We hope we'll see you again. You got a big debate tomorrow.
Down in San Diego.
You'll be on Conway tonight.
Conway tonight,
All right,
that's right.
We introduce you to Duf Sundheim. Thanks, Duff.
All right.